Hello, I'm Czardus, and grab some coffee and relapse as we build in Cities Skylines 2. Today we see railroads come to Riverwoods, but first be sure to check out Apex Gaming via the link in the description below for some amazing custom gaming PCs. Now, in 1883, Riverwoods embarked on a pivotal expansion of its timber operations, a development spurred by the newfound connectivity provided by the railroad. This year marked the establishment of the Great Riverwoods Sawmill, an event that transformed the town's landscape, both economically and socially. Henry Dawson, a prominent local businessman, championed this venture, attracting investors from as far as Seattle and Portland. The inauguration of the sawmill was a grand affair, attended by the town's residents and dignitaries from neighboring regions, symbolizing a collective leap towards industrial growth. Edward Dawson, Henry's son, was the first manager of the Great Riverwood Sawmill. However, the expansion was not without its challenges. A fierce debate erupted over the environmental impact of increased logging activities, bringing to light the community's divided stance on progress versus preservation. Chief Tall Pine and the indigenous community voiced their concerns about the sustainability of the forests, leading to a series of town hall meetings. These discussions culminated in the Riverwoods Accord, an agreement that introduced pioneering practices in sustainable logging and land management, setting a precedent for future operations. The expansion of the timber operations in 1883 was a defining moment for Riverwoods, one that tested the resilience of its community and its commitment to balancing growth with environmental stewardship. All right, so with that in mind, we are going to see, first of all, a construction of the sawmill area, which is going to go in here. And we don't have a building that can serve as the sawmill. We have not unlocked any industrial buildings, primarily because we have not done any of that stuff. But what we are going to do is we will get some zoned industry in here. And I think what we'll do is we'll bring a road out this way, and then across like that. And then I'm just going to come in here and get some industry zoned in here. Maybe like that. And hopefully we will see some forestry related buildings. We're not far from the forestry stuff, and we are also by the train terminal. So I was thinking that this would be the spot where we get the main sawmill. So we'll kind of eventually have a district here called Sawmill. And the other thing I want to do is we're going to see, right now our unemployment is pretty low because we've got a lot of jobs in here. So what I want to do is start to get more people. We're going to expand out this way because that is our buildable area. And I want the main town to be like in here and up here, the port down here. And I think what we'll do is, in honor of the Riverwoods Accord, we're going to keep this forest here and have it be the Tall Pine Park, named after Chief Tall Pine. But we can't do the district yet. We need to get to the next milestone before we can do that. So what I'm going to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to continue to build out these grids. And again, this is 70 by 70 yards. Yeah. So I'm going to extend that in this direction, because we do have some flat land in here, and we'll go from there. And that you saw was about a 10% slope. You may have seen it, maybe not. But that is about as much as I want. So now this direction is too steep, so we're not going to go up that, although 12%, no, I won't do it. So I'll go ahead and fill out the rest of this now. And we can check over here. All of these are about 12%. This one is 10%. Actually, we could get that there. That comes back down. I'll allow it there, I guess. I want to try to stick to that 10% maximum slope, but just a little bit more than that, I think, is okay. And I'm sure somebody out there might be saying, no, that's too much for a car, but no, it should be fine. 14% though, I think that I don't want to do. I mean, I know that slopes can go higher than that, but I also want to not go too far into this forest here. So what we could do, actually, I'm going to do this. We're going to bring a road out, say here, and that's going to come right along like this. And this is going to be the edge of the park. Now, I think this is the extent of the main part of it. Although we've got a lot of hill in there. Although, you know what? There is a nice slope or a nice little valley type thing here that we can go up. Here it gets a little bit steeper. So we'll curve around like that. And then we should be able to maybe get a nice road out this way. A simple curve coming right in there. Yep, there we go. I like that. So then we can extend the grid out in this area, which is what I will do. Okay, now we've got this whole big area that we can fill in with residential. We can double check our unemployment is super low, so we can go ahead and start getting more in here. And I think what I want to do is I want to preserve this space for commercial, and we're going to get residential all along the other part. And eventually we'll get more schools and things like that, but for now this is really, I mean, residential, we've just got tons of people moving in. That's what we're dealing with right now. And I think that is what we would expect in a town that is booming because of the railroads. Okay, and that should be all of that residential. So that is going to fill in. We are having some people moving out, probably because we are having, we don't have any health care. So they're having to go places. And I mean, people are getting sick and we don't have health care. So that is an issue. We do have some things here that are not quite what I wanted to see in the industry area. We're going to bring out a little bit of zoning on this spot. So we'll let that respawn there. But I think, I mean, most of it, we've got a lot of textile and stuff. It's not really, here's one thing of timber. So we'll get there. And we'll just let it go. Timber and grain, that's fine. That is our area there. Fire, I don't think we have a fire department yet. So maybe we get our first firehouse. And the firehouse we will put on the corner over here in our civic area. And that has unlocked level 4, so that is good. So now we have unlocked some more stuff. Most importantly, we can do districts. So I want to come in here, and we're going to do a few different things with districts. We're going to come right over here first of all, and we're going to name this the Great Sawmill. We're like Riverwoods Sawmill. And we'll just leave it at that. And then I also want to do a couple things here. I want to do Grand Central Station in here. And actually, maybe what we'll do is we'll make this district a little bit bigger because it will go maybe right along like this. And, well, yeah, we'll keep it like that. Okay, Grand Central Station. Then over in here, we are going to get, we're going to call the, actually, you know what we'll do? We'll bring this like that. And bring it down there. And then we'll get a new district here. That will actually come down like that. And this is going to be Government Center. Or Civic Center, I guess. Okay. Then I want to have one here, like a town named after the railroad. Although the railroad is named Pacific Northwest Railroad. So maybe what we'll do, you know what we could do? Hang on. Okay, what we're going to do is Dawson is a pretty big person, and we're going to call this creek Dawson's Creek, which I know there's a TV show called that, but anyway, we're going to come down here, and because Dawson has been such a prominent figure so far, I think it made sense that this creek area would be named after him. And what we'll do is we'll have the residential district there named it too. So that gives us that, and then over here we're going to have this be historic Riverwoods, because this was the original town here, and I'm going to tighten this boundary up a little bit here actually. And then all in here is going to be Tall Pine Forest, or Tall Pine Park. I think it'll end like here. And I'm not sure what we'll do with that space yet, but I do know that I want the green space there. And then I don't know what other names we could have in here yet, but we will come out here, and of course we've got what is this, Harrington Road. We're going to end up with a little town out here called Harrington, I think, because he's going to need some workers closer to the forestry, and so we'll see a little town there. But that is the start of that. Now we've got our firehouse, so that'll be good, and I'm going to let a lot of this fill in now. Okay, so now this is filled in, and we are at 9% unemployment, so we're doing good. They are complaining about high rent, so we want to add more, but we want to address that unemployment. So I think what we'll do is we'll have Harrington expand his production, because we are producing a lot of timber, and that's what we want. We want to make sure that they are doing well. Let's double check. Profitability is very good. They are profitable, so we'll go ahead and get more of that out here. We want more timber. And Harrington is just pretty much, I think, going to put everything along this road. I think what we'll do is we'll bring a road up this way like that. Yeah, straight line is fine there. We're going to bring this farther back now, though. And this is where it gets really steep very quickly. But if we come around this way, we should be fine. Or, you know what? Maybe that hill is the end of his land. And then maybe somebody else eventually buys that land. That might make sense. He wouldn't want to be too far from everything. So we can get a few industries in here then. So what we'll do is we'll put one here. And we'll get one over on this side, too, to cover the other side of it. And I suppose we could have had the same one do that. Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. So we'll come in here, and if you decide that you want to change what you have set up, it's really easy to do. You just add some nodes. And we got to add one like that in order to come all the way down to here. So this one can come all the way out like this, and I think that'll be a good coverage area. And get a lot of that timber cut. And then we'll get one more over here, I think. And that'll pretty much be the extent of Harrington's operations. There we are. So we have got a lot of timber production for Harrington. And let's get a few more farms in place too while we have unemployment. Actually, it is under control again, but let's go ahead and get these farms in here. So we can get grain. Actually, let's get vegetables now. And what we want to do is we're really just getting about like half of each. Now we're dividing these big squares into quarters. Cotton, I don't think we would have out here. Vegetables and grain, I'm okay with doing. But I don't think we would have anything like cotton here, so we're not going to bother with putting that in. We'll just have to import that. Livestock we would have for sure, though. And I know it doesn't have to be on fertile land, but I'm using mods so that I can put fertile land wherever I want. So I'm not too concerned about running out. Just for the record there. And then we'll get one more grain in here. And we have unlocked the dairy house. I don't know. What do you think? Should we have some cheese production and milk and stuff? I think we should. But not until we have higher unemployment. So let's go ahead and I think what we'll do is we'll extend out this way. This grid can continue, I think. Yeah, I mean, we've got a bit of a hill here now. These guys are building on the hill, though. And here, it's not too bad. So I'm going to extend the grid out this way now. Okay, so here the hill got too steep. That's about 20% slope. So we're going to take those out and probably double check here too. Yeah, 22%. We're not going to have a 22% slope heading right into this water here. So I think what we'll do is we'll continue to have these roads like this. And maybe bring them farther along that way. I think I'll just have the grid extend here. Bring this out like that, and then this one, yeah, we'll extend a little bit this way. And this one can come all the way down here. And the zoning is not really lining up perfectly, but that's okay. I don't mind that too much. Now, what do we have going on here? This one here is acting up a little bit weird. I do mind that. There we go. That's better. Yeah, so this grid comes up a little bit here. And then we can go ahead and extend all of this out a little bit farther to our main arterial coming through here. And then we just have to figure out what to do with these roads. And I think, I mean, they could continue to go straight here. And maybe they do. And we just figure out what we could do is I could have this one come down. I don't want it to go too steep all the way down to the bottom. And that's the problem because here we've got 20, I guess, all right, we'll go with that, 20% slope. It can be a defining characteristic of this area. The steep hills of the shoreline. Okay, so now that gets that grid out a bit farther. I'm happy with that. Let's go ahead and put residential there. Unemployment is 7%, that's fine. We'll come in here and we are going to extend this all the way out like that. And at some point we're going to run out of space, and that is what is going to make me excited. When we have this all in here zoned, then we're going to start to build up and probably extend into the automobile era. But for now, I really want to just continue getting all of this in here. Okay, and around this time, we would probably see the arrival of both our first high school and the first college in the area. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a high school in, and I'm going to decide, we've got an elementary school here. We probably would see more eventually, but we don't really have the demand for that too much. But I think what we'll do is we'll get a high school over here. We have relatively flat land there. Maybe we get it in here because we have an open space here and it is a flat area. So what we're going to do is we'll bring a road, something like this, kind of along that road, but off on its own a little bit here. And we'll just put this in here. And yeah, it had to cut into the hill a tiny bit there, but that's okay. What we'll do is we'll come along here and we'll go about 50 yards and curve down. Do the same thing over here, about 50 yards and curve. So that is our first high school, and we will call this Riverwoods Central High. Okay, so that is going to provide education. And then I want to see where could we put our first university, although we need to unlock that. Let's go ahead and come in here and unlock college. Would be the first college to be built in the area. It's not that one's not too big. It has a little bit of expansion, but not too much. And maybe we get that. Let's get it right over here by the like downtown area. Yeah, getting some older buildings in here is really good. And we will call this Pacific Northwest College. And that was built by the railroad because they want to continue to develop this area. They're selling more land and they want to have some more business coming out here. So they want to make sure that this town continues to grow. And so that should help bring in even more people. And unemployment is still 11%. So we're going to get a couple more farms built out here. I want to preserve the trees here. So what we're going to do is be careful with this road. And this can come down here. But I don't think we'll get anything further down that way. Let's go ahead and get another grain farm in here. Grain is so critical in this game. This one will come out to about here. This is going to be a little bit of a smaller farm. But we'll get another grain farm over here. And actually all of these are a little bit on the smaller side. And I'm just trying to stagger where the homes are a little bit, just because I feel like that makes it a little bit more realistic. People wouldn't build their house right next to their neighbor if they could avoid it. There we go. So that gets the farm in there. And now let's come into industry. We can get a dairy house. And I think that dairy house would probably go around here because, I mean, we're getting a lot of industries developing along this area a little bit. Let's go ahead and put that here. Just barely doesn't fit there. So what we'll do is we'll bring it in like that, and then we can get a little road in front of it. There we are. So now we've got a dairy house that will have a company move in and provide a bunch of jobs. And we're getting a little bit of industry developing here, which is good, but we're also probably soon going to see a port develop down there as well. But that is where we will leave it today. Thanks for watching. Be sure to click on the video on the screen. It will take you to the next episode if it's out. If not, then it will be another video that you will thoroughly enjoy. I guarantee it. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time. Take care.